Dad Divine. Hello!
With a beard.
With a beard.
With a beard.
Looking cool. Rocking the beard. D-Mac. Come here, George. So what I'm doing, guys, is the guys over at a great bass company. George, come on. The guys over at a great bass company called Alpha Instruments.
Yes, I'm just singing some rubbish up, you know, as usual.
Keeping it real.
I like the feathers on the camera.
See you later, Gary. That's my landlord. Okay, so as I was saying, the guys at a great bass company called Alpha Instruments have been working on the P bass of doom. You know, the bass that you guys all know, the 59 custom P bass. In a nutshell, sounds wicked, played like an absolute dog. The setup on it was pretty gnarly, and the end of the fingerboard was like a banana as well, so it can, as you went further and further up the fretboard, it just got, the notes just got deader and deader and deader. So it went to Chris over at Alpha Instruments. I'm going there now, and what I thought is I'd take you guys with me and then get Chris to talk about what to really look for to figure out whether your bass needs setup, because the gag is, guys, that even if you've bought a super expensive bass, the probability is that it will need a setup to get it to play how you want it or how it actually should play. A lot of basses need a little bit more love and attention when it comes to the setup, even if they've just come right from the shop and they're brand new and you've just bought them. And in fact, you can get a really cheap bass to play just as well as an incredibly expensive bass most of the time, as long as the frets are dressed. Do you guys like marshmallows? I'm like a marshmallow addict at the minute. So tasty. This is where my wife and I might be moving around here. It's really cool. This is a cool area, just like super countrified, really old. Obviously you'll see me in the studio, but yeah, just this, we'll be moving around here, so you might catch some videos from around this area. Wicked place. We just want to get somewhere that's really great for the kids, you know, so the kids can play out. So like my kids are one's 4 and one's about to turn 2, so we're in the tunnel. But yeah, we want to move somewhere that's really great for the kids, so, you know, the whole family thing. Like, I'm super into it. I could have never imagined how much I am into being a dad. Like, it is the best thing in the world. I can't remember where he lives. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Dad. How's it going?
How do you?
What are the controls on here?
So you've got volume with pull passive.
It's got that kind of, that burpy thing, that jazz thing as well. I know it's not like a jazz bit. Some basses, like when you dig in, don't actually do that.
A lot of that's down to having the action set, so when you dig in, it does growl a little bit. It's got a little bit of grind to it.
Being able to play really clean,
It can be mellow, but if you dig in, it's got a bit.
and then you want that. And I always put my hand around. And what's this made out of? Because I don't know if you guys can see the front of this. It's insane. Have we done a video on this before?
Yes, briefly.
Well, I'm in love with this bass.
It's impregnated with coloured resins, so it's Buckeye Burl.
Yeah.
But it's stabilised with resins, so it's much harder.
It compresses it or something, yeah.
I think it's done in some kind of vacuum. It pulls all the resins in.
I kind of like the idea of the two pickups together.
Surprisingly different sounding to say it's...
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. So that's like, so the neck one is. So we're here with Chris. This is the guy behind Alpha Instruments, hanging out in his living room, and he's got, look at his wife lets him, wife? Girlfriend?
Fiance. Wife next year.
Fiance. Give him a thumbs up. Like, I get a lot of people, I talk about basses being set up, and I was just saying to Chris earlier, sometimes I'll pick up a student's bass and I'm just like, oh man, you really need to get this set up, and the student always responds, but it was $1,500, and it's this idea that the bass is, or any instrument is, or if it costs a lot, it's set up, you know, and it's actually not the case. Sometimes it does need tweaked. So I thought what would be cool is if Chris gives us some tips that you guys can look into or look for. I'm kind of just throwing it. This isn't planned, by the way. I just kind of turned up with the camera. I was like, oh, Chris, tell them some stuff. But what should they be looking out for? Initial kind of things.
A lot of it, over time, your truss rod may need adjusting, so you'll have quite a bow in the neck, and so your action here will be quite high. So what you'll end up with is a really uneven instrument to play. It could be alright here, it might be okay here, but you'll have like a bow here.
A banana.
Yeah, so you can adjust the truss rod to straighten it out, and I always recommend it as straight as it can be,
yeah,
with a tiny bit of relief. And the way I check that is to make a straight edge out of the string by pushing down on the fret where the neck meets the body. On
so
the first
where
fret,
the fret meets the body. Let me do this as well.
So if you do that with your little finger,
yeah,
on the hand, and the first fret on the same string,
on the first fret down, yeah.
So you've got a gap there. You see the little gap?
Oh right, okay.
And that's the relief in your neck. You can tell quickly and easily just how straight your neck is. And you need like just a hair of relief, just a little bit.
On a regular basis, like how many basses do you see where the relief's too much on the neck?
Too much, I think it's quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Like out of 10, how many?
It's probably more than 50%.
More than 50%.
Yeah. You've usually got. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Because over time it just does with season changes and stuff. They do move around. They sometimes go the other way.
Yeah,
so your open string.
I think it's probably easier to hear it when it's gone the other way.
Yeah.
Because then all the notes start buzzing. But if it goes that way, people just get ginormous action.
And just to kind of get used to it.
And they just struggle on with it, don't they? Yeah.
One of the other main problems is what happens is the last few frets of a lot of instruments will go up.
Why does that happen? Because I've had that so much. What it's talking about is like the neck will be like straight, and then right at the end it'll just go whoop, like a little ski jump.
Yeah, which forces you have to have the bridge higher, which forces your action to be much higher than it needs to be. And it seems to be like a tension thing when the neck's bolted, or even with set necks, there's a point where it just wants to pull out. And what we do when we make our instruments is from about the 12th or the 14th fret we sand an opposite ramp, basically, it's farther
going down.
Yeah, so each fret from there is thousandths of an inch lower than the previous one, and that's in the wood. So when you put the frets in,
it's actually naturally built into it.
It's built in.
Yeah.
And so you can then get the action lower because you're not battling with the last few frets being. That's what I've done on your.
Is that what you've done on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it into the frets rather than into the wood. So
because this was really bad.
Didn't have any notes above the 12th fret at all.
Is that what? Yeah. It was really bad. It was great actually. I loved actually giving it to people to play because it looks great. So like loads of people be like, oh, can I play it? Can I play it? I'm like, oh yeah, go for it. And I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. Let me plug it in. Hey.
Once again.
Works. Yeah.
No longer restricted to just a few frets.
Yeah, well, and that's with the tongue wide open actually. Anyway, show us this wood.
Okay. What?
Look at that! What?
If you look, actually, it's actually got metallic flake in it, which is pretty insane.
How have they done that?
So let me just show you how it book matches. It's kind of.
Oh, let me just get rid of the camera so you can see this. Holy macaroni. And is this from the same guys that did the top on, which is obviously incredibly insane.
When it's got finish on, it really pops colour-wise. It completely transforms.
Yeah, because if you don't know, guys, like if you put sort of like some sort of like liquid on this, like white spirit or something like that, it exaggerates the entire thing, doesn't it? Are you going to go and get some? Yeah.
Of how it looks now, and then just how much it changes when you.
Wow. What? That's crazy.
So.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Really, really beautiful colour.
It's like 3D almost, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just.
Is this the impregnated whatever it's called
yes.
then? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you imagine once that's sanded up to, you know, perfect finish, and then you add oil to it,
it's going to look insane,
isn't
it? Yeah, yeah, it's going to look crazy.
Incredible stuff.
What other things can people look out for to try and figure out whether their bass needs setup and if their action's too high, I suppose? Like, what do you recommend for the action?
See, I don't really go by measurements, I go by feel. And the first thing I always do, can I just borrow the bass?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The first thing I do is I set the saddles. First of all, the relief of the neck. If you get that relatively straight,
yeah,
and the saddles, I set them as low as I can for the top frets here until it starts buzzing.
Right. Okay.
And just raise it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that, I really only see the saddles as adjusting for this.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That area right there, getting that right. Yeah.
And then it's all really about the nut after that. Because people try and adjust the action here for this area, and a lot of the time the nut can be too high. No matter what you do here,
too high, yeah,
it's not going to affect this.
How can you tell whether the nut's too high or not? Because I've played a ton of instrument where the nut is too high.
It's just, again, it's about feel. If it's more difficult to press here than it is, you know, if you sort of in this position, if
that first fret you're really needing to squeeze it down, it should be like basically holding here and then pressing down there. Is that correct?
It should be that sort of distance. If you press on the second fret and look at the distance between the string and the third fret, it should be similar to that.
And I suppose in a way that's where you can do not irreparable damage, but you can actually file the nut down too low, can't you?
Oh yeah.
I know that because I've done it. Well, guys, huge thanks to Chris. We've done this before, but I'm going to tell you again where to find him just in case you missed the last video. It's alphainstruments.com. Oh no, you haven't got, have you got a website?
It's alpha.co.uk.
Alpha.co.uk. There you go, guys. See you later, mate. Right, take it easy, dude. See you in a bit. Win. It's beautiful around here. It's called Saltaire. Back in the motor. I can't tell you guys how important it is to make sure that your bass is set up correctly. There's so many students, I play their bass, I'm just like, you've got to, like, it's an uphill struggle straight away. On some instruments I have a higher action, but it's because I want the instrument I want to fight it in a certain way because it affects my playing in a certain way, right? And that's a choice that I've made. But depending on where you are as a player, if you're you know, beginner, intermediate, do yourself a favour and just get your action lowered so it's just within the realms of reality, and don't struggle away on an action that's been set by a factory, because they set the actions high because it's, you know, they don't want customers coming back and saying, you know, the frets are buzzing, and it's a manufacturing process. Let me just tell I'm boiling myself in the car. If you do need a setup, you can do two things. First of all, take your guitar or your bass to a luthier or guitar maker. Get them to check it out if you're not comfortable checking it yourself. And remember, if you're an academy member as well, over at scotsbassisters.com, we've got an entire course on how to set up your bass, which we filmed with the luthier Chris May of Overwater Basses, a dear friend of mine, and actually the guy who got me started playing bass. So huge shout out to Chris. But yeah, so that's in the academy. So if you're a member over at Scots Bass Lessons, make sure you go over and check that course out. because it's a step-by-step guide. It's like 3 hours long, 4 hours long, something like that. It takes you through all the specific tools you'll need as well. And if you're not a member, just grab your 14-day free trial. I'll put a link below, and that means you'll get like 14 days free trial of not just that course, like all of our courses. And there's like 20 odd courses, so go do that, and hopefully you'll be able to make your basses a little bit more playable, and make the learning process easier. Like, I'm all for making it easier. I thought I'd finish off the awesome trip with some fish and chips. Oh yeah, you guys into fish and chips? It's badass, man. Whoa, 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 where are you going? If you haven't subscribed to the Scott's Bass Lessons channel yet here on YouTube, click the link, subscribe. I release 2 videos like this every single week. You can also check out our other videos over there, and if you've not checked out scottsbasslessons.com membership, check it out. You can grab your 14-day free trial over there.